like casters, we feel the same about the combination. Maybe the teams do too. I don't know.
Hey. But I guess we'll somewhat know it right away because you're taking a look at Smart Omega and their picks as of the moment. As mentioned, by midnight, it's a very well-rounded team up against BREN Esports that wants to save or salvage the Claude for them to be able to get the game. But will they fall onto the Omega timers that we have been mentioning from a while ago, or will it be BREN Esports taking over in game number 1? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show on the road, shall we?
Okay, so if you look, I know we talked about it a little bit here in the draft, right? If you look at the lineup for BREN specifically, it's so bursty and pickoff based. And yes, you have, I mean, you have tools for late in the game here, but I feel like they need to set the pace early to mid-game. Otherwise, they're going to struggle against the lineup for Smart Omega late game.
Yeah, and I feel like Omega, the thing about their lineup is that they have a lot of controls so that whenever a fight breaks out, BREN Esports have to worry about their positioning. So I kind of think that BREN Esports, that's where they need to address the issue. They need to be able to find these pickoffs without having to worry about the movements coming out from Omega.
Yeah, which is why they're confident with taking this one right now. But so far, they might not just go for it just yet. They just want to take care of the Little Wanderer. But Midnight, speaking of this emblem here by Renzo, I don't usually see this as an emblem being picked most of the time. But this is Renzo, one of the most underrated players in the game, if I should say, man. And he knows how to handle the Masha as much as you do.
Yeah, the thing about this emblem for the Masha is that the lower the HP gets, the higher the damage output that he dishes. And it goes in sync with the passive of Masha, because the lower HP you have, the higher attack speed and lifesteal you get from every attack. So it syncs up perfectly well with the way that Masha builds up his kit, because right now, especially in this meta, or last season's meta, Masha is not built as a DPS hero anymore.
Yeah.
He's built as a, I mean, she's built as a tank DPS. I mean, tank burst damage.
Yeah.
Because her ultimate is just insane.
Yeah.
It's absurd. If she has 3 Guardian's Helmet, she can delete any hero on the map.
Oh man, it's like 0 to 100, right? You already know what's about to happen, but as the turtle is about to spawn, you're taking a look at your screens right now, it might just be a little bit problem for BREN Esports as they want to go and take things over. But BREN, 4 heroes right over here, wants to take things over.
They're getting the positioning here for sure. BREN, also Ogwin holding on to that way of the dragon for the right moment. We're going to see the push and pull, but the hook and land. Ogwin goes in with the way of the dragon. Can they find the kill here? Rough Wave's already going to be popped, but look at Renzio actually going to zone them out for now. Turtle's still going to be worked on half health. Lots of ultimates already committed here. Who's going to come out on top? Pandora gets hooked again by that Chaknu, and no kill goes down just yet. Turtle's going to be secured, though, by Kyle Teasy. This is quite interesting, right? So many ultimates popped, no deaths.
Yeah.
Mark stole the grab away from Kelra. But BREN Esports, they played that fight beautifully. Even though it looked like Smart Omega, they were the ones controlling the team fight. BREN Esports, they had all their eyes set onto the turtle. Every skill set they've bred, it's just to make sure that Omega also reacts to the way that they're moving. And BREN Esports, Kyle Teasy was like, okay, just do your thing. I'm just going to take out a turtle here, and we secure the objectives.
Yeah, and at some point, they've had a lot of durability and tankiness from their side in like the first few minutes of the game, right? But unfortunately, they didn't have enough damage to back up those crucial hooks that Chakno was actually building here. But at the same time, brought to you by Samsung Awesome Value Prediction. Who will give more assists for this game? Will it be Few or will it be Kiel VJ? Answer with those hashtags that you see on your screens right now. And of course, include the name of the player. But I guess we'll figure something out later on.
That's kind of hard for Few fans, because Few, the nature of his hero is that she bursts down here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no assist happening here.
I was gonna say,
if I get a catch with a Petrify, you're dead.
I was gonna say, that's gonna be more kills, hopefully, on Few here. But assist-wise, you gotta say too, Kill VJ. Most likely, he's always going to have the Way of the Dragon, right? So we're going to see 2 Way of the Dragons just like here. That's 1 kick, and there's the lockdown coming out from the heavy spin.
Beautiful.
First blood for Kill VJ. He's going to be getting kills too. And there you go. First blood already drawn by Smart Omega.
That intercept from the Valentina. The kick came out from Ogren, but the Valentina was prepared. With Few?
Yeah. Going to find another kill. Lockdown with the Bloody Hunt. This is what I was saying, Sona. You know, there is so many tools here for Smart Omega. And again, early game should be BREN pressing the go here.
Yeah.
But it's actually Smart Omega, and it's a lot of the times, it's the Mamba hooks, man, that are landing.
Yeah, then it's usually the one that's starting the fight, but it's somewhat different heroes trying to end it, right? So at some point, BREN Esports needs to be able to find a better position, get the initiations done, and hopefully equalize. But so far, it's still an equal matchup, and rather not, BREN Esports has taken the lead hundreds in terms of gold, but Omega not falling behind, Turtle 50%.
There we go, the push and pull once again. Turtle's gonna be half health here. There's gonna be the way of the dragon. Ryzen with the heavy spin gets a lockdown on Kyle Teasy, but it's still secured by BREN Esports.
Why, oh my, that was a good turret take, but so far, Renzio from the top side has managed to take it far away as to landing the outer turret for himself. So somewhat a trade has happened for both sides, but it is still a good side for Omega because that's permanent damage.
That's such a Renzio move. Like, you don't chase out the Esmeralda because you naturally lose out the fight, and there's no hero to burst down from BREN yet as of this moment. So Omega, Renzio was like, okay, just be cool. Take the turtle. I'm going to take the top tower. And Omega, even though they didn't have the Masha that team fight, Ryzen played it perfectly. Like, the moment that Ogwin kicked him, he immediately used the spin and took out Kyle Teasy away from the turtle range. Unfortunately, the turtle followed him, so Kyle Teasy was near the retribution range and he was able to get the turtle. But again, Omega, they're going to be happy with that trade. But the problem is BREN Esports, whoa, the kick!
Goes in with the way of the dragon. The blazing duet's going to be committed too. Ryzen, less than half health here. Again, this is the story so far of these skirmishes. Back and forth, and a lot of that too. This is typically what we see with the Valentina on the other side of a Cho pick where there's two Way of the Dragons. And it's just either you kick them towards your team or you kick them away. And that's the push and pull we see in both teams. I do want to commend BREN though, because even though they were down 2 early kills, they've done a good job at equalizing everything with those 2 turtle takes.
Super Marco has been really phenomenal on this Claude. Again, the farming pattern that he has been doing allows BREN Esports to keep afloat. And Omega, they need to do something. But even though, as I've said that, Omega has taken control all over the objectives, both on the top lane and bottom lane. Even though BREN Esports answered with the Esmeralda push on the top lane, Omega still has been doing a phenomenal work in trading the objectives. Even if BREN Esports take turtle, Omega takes towers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trades going on for both of the teams, but I just want to say, you know, Ogwin is having a slight dilemma right over here. You know, he turns to get, or he lands to get the pickoffs in with a Way of the Dragon, but at this point, who would you want to go for? Chaknu's tanky, Renzio's tanky, Geller's right over here, and Chaknu's taking the brunt of the damage.
Yeah, they're actually going to force the flicker from Chaknu here. So Turtle still going to be worked on. Ryzen going to go ahead and try to get the positioning here. Kyle Teasy waiting patiently. It's going to be less than half health. Iron Hook's going to land. The heavy spin comes out too. And Kyle Teasy cleaning on these turtles with 3 taken. No one going down just yet. Ryzen has to back off here. Conceal play going to come out. Renzio's going to be in trouble and gets taken down by the entire team of BREN Esports.
What is happening right over here, man? Kyle Teasy actually managing to create a lot of plays for themselves and in the same way get more kills and objectives. You know, BREN Esports, they may lose some turrets from the top to the bottom side, but the most important part here is they got what they wanted.
This is a weird, man. This is a little weird because you wouldn't expect Kyle Teasy to have all 3 turtles.
Kyle!
Oh, he's actually going for Ryzen too, but he backs off a little bit. Luckily, Kill VJ was there, but still. I mean, talk about Kyle Teasy grabbing these 3 turtles away from Ryzen running with that jungle emblem.
I mean, I just want to say, Ogwin has been phenomenal on this Cho play from BREN, because I feel like he has a different answer. Like, you don't necessarily have to go on a target against Omega, you just scared him away. And you saw what he did against Kel VJ and Chakno. He looked like he was going for the kick onto the Franco, but he was like zoning. He was just zoning away Omega. It was not even committing. And the thing is, Kel VJ, he doesn't have anything against the Cho. Because guess what? Cho is a very tanky hero, especially with the shield coming out from the shooting pole. And he is mobile enough to escape the clutches of Omega. And I feel like that's where BREN Esports has been really, you know, has been winning a lot of these skirmishes. It's because of the movements coming out from the Cho. This is really weird from Omega because at this moment, it feels like they have no answer against the aggression of Ogwin.
And that's the thing, right? I think we've only seen once of the Bloody Hunt, but so far they want to go for the initiation once again.
Ogwin once again, but he's going to get trapped, has to flicker out this time. And there you go. Another big resource taken out, like you guys were just talking about, Ogwin, right? He is starting a lot of these things, and even if he necessarily doesn't get a pick, he gets something crucial from Smart Omega. Now, Lord up.
Yeah, and at the same time, they just want to get the attention of Smart Omega. And Super Marco's just getting a lot of the gold. Conceal play, though, might come in for the Barangay.
Who's going to grab the Lord? They do back off here. Pandora going in. Here comes Few, gets the knock-up, and the burst is there. Lord going to be taken here, too, by BREN. But look at the backside here. Renzio trying to grab a kill, but it's Super Marco that takes out Chaknu. So that's 3 that fall for Smart Omega, and the Lord goes to BREN.
That was nasty coming out from Few. 2 petrified units. And Omega, they have no answer. Again, the aggression coming out from Owen. Just make sure that Omega reacts to whatever moves that they're doing. And BREN Esports, KyleTzy was just, casually taking the Lord.
If you think about what happened a minute prior to the Lord on the shoulders of Ogwin, where they got the heavy spin out, and that wasn't available for Smart Omega, that played out huge for that big objective.
That was the key point, because Akai didn't have the toolkit for the team fight of Smart Omega. And BREN Esports, they have a lot of firepower here in the form of Super Marco. So even if BREN Esports, they lack the positioning, Omega doesn't have skills.
Yeah.
Why are we scared? We just fight.
Yeah, and at some point, it was also good commendation from the Falling Star because they baited the play. Coming in from up close and personal, they've managed to get the positioning from BREN Esports. Unfortunately for them, they didn't have enough skills to back up the positioning that they've had. So it went automatically to BREN with Pandora even getting the Lord up to that fight. So at some point, they were able to take 5 total turrets from the outside. No inhibitors just yet, but the lead is already 6,000 for the side of the Hive, and they've managed to control the tempo of this fight.
Honestly, I don't see any Omega timers happening here in this game, because guess what? BREN has the Claude. And they have the superior late game here. Even though Smart Omega, they have a lot of ways to win team fights, this Claude is becoming a huge problem. The only way that Omega wins fight is if Chaknu gets a bloody hunt up against Super Marco. But even that, there's a lot of toolkit from BREN as well. Few can just petrify the Franco. He can make him fly. He can make him swim. And Ogwin, he has been keeping tabs on Chaknu. So Omega, they can't make any moves against the Claude.
Yeah, again, what you guys were saying about Ogwin just more than pulling his weight basically on this Cho is an understatement, because he's not really necessarily like a super tanky hero. Yeah. Even though he's got a couple tank items here, he's just doing the work with the Way of the Dragon threat plus the flicker that he's using, right? And even Pandora coming in at the right time. Again, the gold lead just kind of snuck up, I feel like, over Smart Omega. Also, even with the double Avarice, it's still okay, right? Because, there was a kick here. Chaknu gonna flicker out.
I missed.
And the rough wave is going to be popped here. So this could be a moment as he lands the hook on the right target. Now it's going to be Ogwin that goes downhill. Kill going over to Kelra. That's going to be huge for them. Ryzen might have bit off a little more too, but here comes the pin down with a heavy spin. But Super Marco, the blazing duet's going to find the target before he takes too much damage himself. Renzio going under the turret. Can't get him just yet. Finally with Kill BJ. The King coming in to clean up. 3 fall for BREN. And now it's Pandora left in the mid lane. He cancels the recall. There we go. Falling Star Moon going to be committed, but he can't go 1 versus 3 as much as he'd like to.
This is the magic of Omega, guys. There's no such thing as timers with Omega. Of course, there's the Omega timer, but the Omega timer is basically whatever happens in a game, there's still a way for us to win. And I feel like that came out from the mistake of the Paquito. KyleTzy was so greedy, he wanted to fight off Ryzen at that moment. But Ryzen, he still had heavy spin. And the difference is, for the last team fights that BREN has been winning, it was always Ogwin that is forcing out the ultimates from Omega. But at that moment, BREN Esports, they were not in fighting condition, and they still fought against Omega.
Yeah, and they just mirrored the move that BREN did to them just a while ago. But hold on, Few trying to figure something out, and Ryzen using the heavy spin.
Oh, goodbye, Few. He does get a little bit of that heal back, but it's not enough as he goes down here. Kelra taking quite a bit of damage on the backside versus KyleTzy. And KyleTzy does take out Kelra, and now Ryzen with a sliver of health. Pandora might be looking to chase, but he just backs off to take the call for the Lord here. They're going to go ahead and start it up. KyleTzy grabbing the buff. Smart Omega trying to get the information that they need here. Kill VJ does have the Way of the Dragon available to him as well. Here comes the falling Star Moon. Kyle Teasy now there with the Lord. Renzio trying to get that vision and keep them at bay here, but it's not going to be enough. Kyle Teasy chasing him down. The Lord, about a fourth of the health here. Who's going to grab this one? Ryzen now going to get trouble. Landing on the target as they find Super Marco. Lord is still up here, and it could be Smart Omega that's going to take this. The heavy spin comes out. Pandora looking to help out, and it's secured by the Barangay as they get the Lord. And now BREN Esports, another kill going over. Kill VJ now in trouble, but he grabs a kill. Here comes Chaknu. Renzio's quite low too, and now Kaura has joined the party. Ogwin and Pandora trying to run out here. Can they escape this? Flickers out. Hook! Chak Mamba finds him with the hook and gets the kill.
Oh my goodness, it started with a very wonderful hook onto Super Marco. BREN Esports did not expect that, and now Omega, they have closed the gold gap from 6.7K down to 600. I cannot believe I'm seeing this, gentlemen. BREN Esports, they had full control of the early to mid game, and guess what? They're supposed to take control of the late game as well. But these mechanics, these catches from Omega is what's making the game of BREN Esports break at the moment.
This is the wonder of having the Franco, right? You never know what's gonna happen next.
It's a walking win condition.
Yeah.
It's just the first thought, you kind of lack 6,000 in terms of gold, and then all of a sudden, you get the Claude, you get Super Marco, you get the shutdown gold that you want, but the conceal play is gonna happen here, and they might just be able to defend this turret unless Omega has to say something else about it. But you have to take note of Chaknu's positioning all the time. They've managed to take control of the bottom side, managing to succeed in getting that inhibitor turret. So far, Omega now with a turnaround in terms of economy, taking at least 700, and BREN back into defense.
This is really hard for BREN Esports to defend. I mean, you are a Cho against a Franco, and Franco naturally deals huge pressure when they're pushing the base. And Smart Omega, they now have full lock items. Even though Super Marco has the Wind of Nature, this threat of the Masha that we've talked about, that we've discussed earlier on, is becoming a huge nuisance to BREN Esports. They need to be mindful about the positioning, because Renzio can just jump in at any time. Any single hero that he picks, either it be the Claude of Super Marco or the Pakita of Kyle Teasy, these two heroes on the side of BREN Esports, whenever Omega locks their eyes on these two heroes, they need to respond. They need to react. Either save them or get the hell out of there.
Man.
Yeah.
You just can't figure out what Omega's gonna do next at this point, because, you know, they've had a lot of positionings. There were some pickoffs that BREN was doing. Speaking of which, Kelra was picked by Kyle Teasy back then before the Lord fight even started. So they've been doing strides, or they've been doing work as to how they would be able to approach the Lord takes, the major objective pushes that they want to go for. But Omega takes control of the macro and the micro gameplay that we have been seeing. And so far, I have to say, man, KLVJ has been superb in this matchup, and so is Ryzen, because Ryzen has taken control of the major objective takes and the initiator of the pickoffs. Conceal play is going to happen right there, but no one will be a part of the side as the Lord now. This is going to be a Luminous Lord. Once again, a major pressure for both of the teams, whoever will be getting this one, but it seems like Omega takes first position for heroes on the Lord pit.
Yeah, I think we're going to see just everyone come down here, but...
What?
Okay.
What has happened there?
Flicker used by Ogwin. He thought he could get Ryzen away from this Lord pit, or it may have just been mispressed from the Cho, but that is really big from BREN Esports. There's no Flicker play that can come out from the Cho.
Yeah, which is who you're relying on mostly here. But still, I mean, the one thing Smart Omega has to respect is the burst damage still is in BREN Esports' favor here for now, right? The initial burst, I'm talking about with few, Super Marco even too. Also a big BOD picking up by Kyle Teasy
here. Such a greedy item by the Pakito. But in terms of DPS, that might just be the answer against Omega, because you don't want to be fighting a long drawn-out fight against Smart Omega, because BREN Esports, even though you have the blazing to it and you can keep up with the mobility, as much as possible, you want to take out the heroes of Smart Omega as quick as possible, because they deal also big DPS.
No more conceal though.
Yeah, they might be going. I mean, this is the strength of having a Masha, right? You can take a lot of punishment because you have multiple health bars, and I believe he's already got the Guardian helmet, right? So he's just going to heal that back up.
And Guardian helmets.
Yeah, and Guardian helmets. So At this point, this is typically what we're used to seeing, guys, right? Objective base. This is the Lord Dance. It's only about 20 minutes in, but we're going to see this back and forth until one team either gets a hook, which almost just happened there.
Man.
But still, the back and forth, the dance.
I mean, if I was Chapna, I would have been scared if I was able to hook the Kadita, because I should have been petrified right there and then.
But so far, it's still a good sign for them. We're already slowing down, but Retro taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, they might actually go here. He just bursted down. Renzio, those health bars aren't going to help you that time. And now this is the prime pickings for BREN Esports as they push Ryzen back. They're trying to get the Lord in position for their favor. They know they've got the numbers advantage. We're going to see Smart Omega looking for an angle here as well, but it's going to be completely blocked off by BREN Esports. This should be a free Lord for BREN.
This Esmeralda has been nuisance to Omega. It's a very big, a very big block.
It's a problem, bro.
Yeah, it's a problem. They don't have any damage against Pandora, and you saw that earlier when he was dancing around Ryzen.
Yeah.
They constantly punch each other back and forth, but Pandora was like, "You don't deal damage, bro," and the Akai was like, "Oh yeah, I don't deal any damage to the Esmeralda."
He's just built different, if I should say, man. Totally just dominating the force, even fighting 4v1, 3v1, no problem at all. But you're taking a look at Super Marco right now, already in full build about buying a brute force breastplate for the extra sustain in terms of the physical damage that he might take for the rest of the members in. So BREN taking the economy once again. You're taking a look at almost 5k in terms of gold lead, but already the damage from Kelra is ginormous. But so far, they need to be able to defend this Lord, and it is looking likely, but BREN Esports taking over the other side of the map.
Oh, good.
Already happy with the tier 2 turret in the mid lane here. They do, Smart Omega does defend against that Lord, so right now, BREN Esports still happy. I mean, the seesaw that we're seeing here with the gold lead is quite intense, although at this point, it doesn't necessarily matter as much, right? We've already taken a look at the items. Everybody pretty much has what they need. We see potions being picked up here. There's going to be some minor swaps back and forth depending on the situation, but Ogwin going in with the way of the dragon. Meanwhile, kill VJ with a return kick. Trying to grab the kill. Immortality going to be popped here. Chaknu is still alive too. Renzio going deep into territory for Super Marco, but backs off here. Again, very similar to what we saw early on in the game, the back and forth between the two teams.
Too heavy of a resources committed by BREN Esports just to take out Chaknu, but he didn't even die. But the problem with Smart Omega right now is that they need to defend their base, and they still have no ways of dealing with this Pandora Esmeralda, who has just been sitting in the front lines of Smart Omega. It's just a walking surveillance from BREN Esports, and this allows huge map control for BREN. Look at this, look at the map. All lanes, all the jungles are being farmed by BREN Esports, and Omega is allowed, what, this area of the map? This mid lane?
Oh, that's going to be a big crucial hook here. Can Few get away from this one? Ryzen pops the heavy spin, locks him down, pushes him back to the top. Few still able to survive though with the rough waves. Here comes the blazing duet from Super Marco. Going to get crashed down on by Renzio, but no one goes down again between the two teams.
What just happened there, man? I thought there was supposed to be a pickoff happening there, but it was the mechanics of these guys, you know, Kadita swimming away from the fight. And in the same way, it was almost the Falling Star Moon stunning the rest of the members in, but unfortunately, there was just not enough damage. We're also managing to see Kyle TC on the top side, just trying to get the lane equilibrium to their side, but again, no casualties for both teams.
This is a big problem for Omega right now. You have to choose between defending on the top lane and going for the Lord contest on the bottom lane. This Esmeralda is just going to follow Omega wherever they want to go, but at this moment, they have a window to capitalize against BREN Esports. The Esmeralda is busy clearing the top wave, but that is already closed down as Esmeralda is already in the mid lane. I would say that BREN Esports, they should have the advantage in this Lord fight, because Omega, even though, again, we've said that there's a lot of kits on their side, there's a lot of CCs that can come out from both the Akai and the Franco, this movement from Ogwin is still a big problem. Like the zoning mechanic that BREN has been utilizing for the past few skirmishes, it has seen a lot of heroes from Omega burn their ultimates just to deal with the choke.
And at some point, the lane equilibrium goes to the side of BREN, given that the Valentina and Franco needs to go and defend the top side, but they might just go for the initiation here. Pandora taking close, dancing with the rest of the members in. There comes the Jit Kundo, but nothing's happening just yet.
Ogwin holding on to that Way of the Dragon the best he can, but he does get hooked, and look, the initiation comes out. There's the Way of the Dragon finally being popped on Renzio, but still has plenty of health bars. Going to take the damage here from Super Marco. Still Chaknu waiting patiently with Kelra, and still it's a back and forth between the two teams. Lord's going to reset here, and we're going to see both teams just go clear the waves.
There's a lot of ultimates being popped here by BREN Esports just for them to take control of the positioning, but there comes the essential pick. So now I think it's go time for BREN.
Pandora goes in with a falling star moon. Ogwin can't get that one though. Pandora still being that front line for BREN Esports. Lord gonna reset once again. Super Marco too low. Ogwin gonna recall here. The reset again, 25 minutes into the game.
Bro, they're dancing. They're just pulling the ropes, man. They're just playing tug of war at this point. You don't know what's going to happen next, but Kelra, as you mentioned.
Yeah, BREN Esports almost won that game with the flicker from Ogwin. But Kelra, with the quick reactions, he saw the concealed play coming from miles away, and he was able to get out of harm's way. With BREN Esports, they still have control over this Lord Pit and Omega. It's hard for them to engage. Now, Ogwin has a second life. The immortality is now reset. But top lane,
look at Few though.
Back line.
Few's gonna find the target. The rough wave is gonna be popped here. Chaknu immortality gonna be popped. There you go. It's a return as Ogwin goes down too. Few still gonna be a focus here. Mega kill for the king. And another lethal hook from the Mamba comes out. And two fall for BREN Esports. And Smart Omega now in position for the Lord. But they still have to worry about Pandora and Super Marco. The hunt comes out. Immortality gonna be popped. And that's another kill, the shutdown for Kelra.
Oh my goodness, Omega, even the face of a play from Q, Kelra was able to keep his distance, and he was not caught off guard by all of the skills thrown by BREN Esports. At the end of the duration where BREN Esports was trying to use their skills to find a target, Kelra was sitting at full HP. And this is what allowed Omega to have a fantastic fight. And I just want to say that this Scarlet Phantom pickup by Clint is just so nasty. He deals so much damage in the team fight, and the amount of attack speed that this item brings allows him to fight head-on against BREN Esports.
Omega, man, they might just end it here.
I think they're looking to end the game right here. Last the hunt comes down, and that's going to be it. Smart Omega comes in and takes game number 1.
BREN Esports will just crumble to the pressure of the Pachiro in the mid-game, and also allowing the Claw to just snowball out of control, because the main problem about BREN's lineup is that, yes, they have catch against the Claw, they have the frag for that, they have the damage with the carry, but in terms of team fight, once Omega groups up, there's no answer. Like, there's no big team fight ultimate that can come out from BREN Esports.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about this, right? Because if you kind of cover the names of both of the teams, this was the similar picks that were picked up a while ago, but they chose to at least use it in a very different fashion, and hopefully BREN Esports
of the Francos.
And there's a lot of backdoor plays coming into it too, so Few needs to find the best positioning available once he copies that real-world manipulation. But here we go. Will BREN Esports equalize in this series, or will Smart Omega take it all the way? Well, welcome to game number 2.
Yeah, and so as we take a look at the map here, right? Everyone's going to be pretty standard, I feel like. Again, you're really relying on Kyle Teasy to just have an easy time in the jungle, not be disrupted at all, which is usually what you see teams do when there's a Fanny across the board, right? Sometimes get in the face of the Fanny, stall them out, right? But they're not going to worry about it.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like BREN Esports is going to go a little bit more aggressive just so they can reach that snowball factor that Midnight has been mentioning a while ago. They need to be able to do that and just get the attention and divert the attention away from Super Margo, just like what they did in game number 1, which they've executed into perfection. But Few, though,
well, it's already, again, you know, when, dodging that hook too. When you have Chaknu playing the coup right here, you always have to be weary of those iconic sets, right, coming out. Because even if they're down, he's done it many times. I mean, here he comes across the map, right? Right on cue, forcing the flicker out from Ogwin. So already early on, this is the impact of the Mamba's Kufra.
Yeah, if you're playing against Chaknu's Kufra, you're not playing against Kufra, you're playing against Chaknu. This is the level of comfort of the guy on the hero. And I love that you talk about Chaknu's performance and the little details. You know, Ryzen, he was farming with the Kufra. That allowed Omega to have the safety net, the precautionary measures. Even if Kyle TZ did not invade, Omega had the right answers. Because guess what? If the Fanny invaded, he's gonna be met up against the Kufra.
Oh well, deep under the turret he goes. Kyle TZ gonna get caught though. Real world manipulation comes out, and that's gonna be the first blood going in the hands of Ryzen for Smart Omega.
Perfect positioning and placement of the bouncing balls coming out from Chaknu's Kufra. I mean, Kufra's Chaknu.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, they just squeezed him in, right? There was nowhere for the guy to be able to go even with that Sasagi or ropes, if I should say, because there were just a lot of places and mobility for the Fanny to go to, but unfortunately, Omega just maximized on the kills or the skills that they've had in taking control of the first blood. That's going to be a little bit more extra in terms of gold for a Smart Omega. Meanwhile, we're still not seeing a lot of fights from the side lanes. Mid lanes, though, very aggressive.
Yeah, I think, again, you know, if you are BREN, you really want to be careful on Kyle TZ here. You don't want to get knocked out or knocked down really this early on, but already it looks okay. He did manage to get the purple buff, but Turtle's still going to be worked on here. It was being bounced back and forth between Renzio and Pandora. Meanwhile, waiting for both teams' junglers to show up. Ryzen does come on first. Chaknu setting up in the bush. That's going to be secured by Smart Omega. Here we go. The Beyblade comes out. Kyle TZ able to get a kill himself. So they trade it out for the objective.
Yeah, little overstep coming out from Brenzio, but I love the play that Chaknu made. He forced out the retribution. That secured the eternal objective for Smart Omega. But little overstep coming out from Brenzio, was trying to zone away BREN Esports when it wasn't needed, because again, Ryzen already had the retribution advantage.
Yeah, all right. There's Chaknu comes in. Oh man, the reaction time. So the flicker also committed from the Mamba, but not able to convert that into anything here.
With you, he has the copy of the Kufra. It's a nice ultimate to have.
Yeah.
I've played this a lot of times. Feels really good because you have the pseudo flicker on your Valentina.
Well, there you go. They return here, but here comes Kyle TZ. Can't get the kill. Has to get out. Few, though. Trying to get in position. Not able to commit with that either. Doesn't use the ultimate at all. So nice disengage there. Forced from Smart Omega just with a single ultimate. The real-world manipulation, you're seeing the value of it here.
I would say BREN Esports kind of pulled a punch there. Would have been awesome if they fought. Again, Few had a flicker and he had a copy of Chaknu's ultimate. So I think it was over safe that they disengage away from Smart Omega. They could have gone for the punish, but now Smart Omega, again, this is becoming a problem for BREN Esports. This Claude is just able to farm away. Even though Super Marco has more levels and probably gold over the Claude, it's still a Claude.
Yeah, and in the same way, it was Super Marco getting the first item, which is going to be the Wind Talker, in before 3 minutes of the fight. So you're already seeing how Super Marco handles that lane with the assistance of Ogwen in the same way. So at some point, BREN Esports still has the upper hand, leading almost 700 in terms of gold, although Chaknu is going to be in a little bit of a ruckus right over here because he's being chosen.
Yeah, he just got simply caught out, right? Nothing you can do there. Goes down. The bloody hunt was committed to. So, you know, Chaknu was just trying to get some information, but unfortunately, he knew that he overstepped and gets taken out here. Now, Ryzen looking to help up on the top side. Gonna pop quite a bit of damage on Ogwen. One punch away. Didn't even need it. Use that retribution, so he gets the kill. Actually, the burning floor. Oh no! He misses. His body goes down. Ryzen actually the one to fall.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah. It was almost like it almost happened, but like nah. Going, like it was like back to regular programming, right?
And Smart Omega, they haven't capitalized on the fact that BREN Esports let loose in the mid game with Chaknu.
Yeah, Chaknu gonna get pulled here. Should be able to survive. Few, nowhere to go here. Trapped in the manipulation of his world.
Okay, Super Marco has Wind Talker and Scarlet Phantom.
Yeah.
That's nice. It syncs up really, really well, especially with the attack speed that you're gonna get from the passive of the Scarlet Phantom. Whenever the Wind Talker procs a critical hit, it increases your attack speed. So more DPS coming out from this carry.
Wow, Kyle Teasy actually able to just grab that turtle there. I thought he was actually going to go down.
Ooh.
Able to secure that, and a hook from downtown as Ryzen falls here. A crucial hook coming out from Ogwin.
So BREN Esports, not much pressure in the early to mid game, but now they're amping up their momentum. And Omega, they haven't done anything yet. It's because of the fact that Chaknu was punished with the overstep that he made on the top lane. That is what stopped Omega from committing the plays that they want to make. And of course, BREN Esports, they have this good idea that they just need, after taking fights, they just need to shut down this Claude. And immediately, BREN Esports went towards the top lane. Chaknu, again, been seen by Ogwin.
Yeah, I don't know if he can escape this one. Iron Hook's gonna land here. Chaknu trying to buy time. Here comes Calro with the blazing duet. Can't get a kill though, as a few is there. Again, I feel like one thing that BREN has to be weary of. Hold on, in the pit, the purple buff. Kalti's gonna get out of there just in time. So this is the thing, right? If you're BREN, you want to find all these fights as long as you're not forced to fight in the real world manipulation. That's the biggest advantage right now for Smart Omega. Kill VJ has been doing a great job at utilizing that ultimate. So if BREN can find these picks over anywhere around the map other than where Kill VJ is, they profit off of that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just Ogwen, you know, giving them the zipline experience so far. Has managed to take control with those momentum type of hooks that has managed to put BREN at the top spot right over here in this matchup. But I have to say, you're absolutely right. They got what they wanted here. They diverted KLVJ's attention. You know, you see KLVJ, right? Looking for other ways for him to be able to fight. But so far, Super Marco taking the brunt of the damage. And here comes 3 members of BREN Esports, but not to mention 2 others, Kelra and Chaknu, just laying behind.
It's pretty sure they saw, they saw the Mamba. They saw him peek out there for a second.
Yeah, he was setting up for a bomb play, I would say, for
the Mamba
Omega
set.
Yeah, but this is really hard for Smart Omega at the moment, even though it's just 2.7k gold, and they still have a Claude. So the late game possibility is, the late game factor is still a possibility for Omega, but right now it's really hard for them. They don't have the dominance.
You got it!
Oh, big hook again, paired with the flicker with the bloody hunt, and that's an immediate kill here on Ryzen. So Ryzen is not available for this first Allure take. It should just go in the hands of BREN easily. Ogwin checking the bushes here, Pandora as well. Chaknu gonna charge up here. Goes in, looking for an angle. Gonna get backed off. Renzio trying to join it too, but the Lord goes in the hands for Kyle Teasy. They're happy with that one.
I'm telling you, man, it's the Ogwen experience. You know, Chaknu got what he wanted in the first game, but this time around, the Ogwen said, if you can do it, I can do it too. And at some point, he just wants to land it, and he just didn't manage to land the hook on just one player. It was the major factor upon getting that major objective take, but so far, Lord Dick here.
Wow, okay. That was a nice
there
dodge.
You go again.
Hook's gonna land. Kelra, the perfect experience as Kelra falls. And now an assault on the mid lane. Kyle Teasy gonna poke a little bit more here. Turret's gonna get finally taken down. Tier 1 falls. Smart Omega on the defense. They have to handle the Lord marching up the top side as well.
I don't know, it's like I'm watching Kuroko the basket, and Ogwin is like Tise. He's been copying, you know, the moves of Chaknu from game number 1. The hook onto that Claude secured the victory here for BREN Esports. And again, all the moves that he has been making really make sense. The pressure is
you gotta go.
Oh,
you gotta go.
Another one, Owen. The foresight as he grabs the hook here. Now Ryzen on the run. The rest of the team, Super Marco, Kyle Teasy coming down. You can't escape it. Killing spree for Kyle Teasy.
What is happening here, right? It's just Ogwen is making the major plays possible for them to create space.
Again, it's the individual plays that are on the side of BREN Esports. They're capable of executing it. Meanwhile, Omega, they haven't had the chance to have a clean team fight. KLVJ, he has been only able to land one successful real-world manipulation in the mid lane. After that, Omega wasn't allowed to have a decent fight anymore. It's because of the presence of Ogwen, who has been shutting down these heroes on the side of Smart Omega. Chaknu and Ryzen haven't had a good game in this second game of the series.
Man, BREN is like it ain't gonna be a problem if we're not gonna make it a problem. KelVJ just unable to use his real-world manipulation. They're just, you know, fighting with the breaks of the game. They're just trying to manage and hold on to the fact that they can get the kills through the pickoffs and not force a team fight, because we know that Smart Omega has that late game advantage. And taking a look at the items right now, you already have 4 or 5 major items for Super Marco right over here.
There's such a huge disparity between the gold of Super Marco and Kelra. 9k gold for the carry. Meanwhile, you only have 7.8 for the Claude. And what makes the game for Omega really hurt is the absence of the Dominance Ice. Again, you have nothing against the carry, and I feel like that's a big factor. That's why Omega hasn't had a chance to fight decently against the carry, because you already are worried about a lot of factors for Smart Omega. There's already the Fanny, there's already the Valentina, and there's also the Frank factor from BREN Esports. But none of them you can itemize against. But against carry and Esmeralda, you can. And that's why I feel like Omega, they were not able to fight in the early game. It's because of the lack of the Dominance Ice on their side.
Well, here they go. Another hook's gonna land. Renzio has plenty of health bars, but they actually forced the reset on the Lord for now. So, BREN Esports still respecting Smart Omega here, despite the 7.5k gold lead.
Yeah, and honestly, they just want to do what they did from a while ago, try to divert the attention onto the other lanes that doesn't really concern the Lord. So now they have a total control. Renzio, Kelra, Chaknu, and KelVJ, what are they going to do here?
Ogwin going in, isn't going to use that ultimate just yet, and that's going to be the Lord secured here for BREN Esports as they're ready to get ready to march into the base of Smart Omega. So all turrets still up for Smart Omega in the base. Can they defend this one?
That is going to be the question for them over here, but I just want to say though, Super Marco looking juicy right over here with a 4-0-1. At least, you know, almost more than 50% of the kill participation already went to his side, and it is a courtesy of Ogwen's hooks, man. 7 assists out of 8, just out of this world. Totally, you know, mental hooks coming from the guy. He knows where the rest of the members of the barangay is going to position themselves. And in the same way, it's just BREN Esports with their mechanical play, just trying to, you know, pave a way or pave a name for themselves.
Again, big props to just Super Marco on this carry, because originally thought he was going to struggle with the range and everything else. But like you mentioned, Sona, the setups coming up from Ogwin with just the hooks alone enabled Super Marco to have a very good game up to this point. I mean, he's stacked at this point, and now already base going to be cracked open here for Smart Omega. They lose the top turret. Focus on the mid. Here comes Renzio, though. KyleTZ looking for the backside entry, but Kelra goes in with a blazing duet. There's KyleTZ to follow up the backside. Renzio falls. Chaknu finding a setup here, but no follow-up to follow as he falls. And now it's going to be the 1-for-2 trade.
Again, the lack of Dominance Ice is hurting this game for Smart Omega. The amount of sustain that Pandora has been able to do in this game is absurd.
They want to go.
Oh man, BREN might be looking at edit. They don't have many minions here, so they've got to be careful as the lanes have been cleared, but base is going to be fully exposed for Smart Omega. Ogwin now back on line here. There's the real-world manipulation coming down from Few. As trying to push them back here, KyleTZ now going to work on the crystal. Gets taken down.
Pandora.
Can they end it? And they do. BREN Esports takes it to game 3.
I love this. Perfect caster curse.
Love the game, man.
Been wrong for game 1, now we're wrong for game 2 as well.
Oh, man. This is just BREN Esports, man. Proving everyone wrong, knowing that they can handle the pressure that was given to
during his jungling stage. And you also have the Lancelot, that is one of the fastest jungle clears in the game, and also a fast-paced jungle.
Is this KyleTZ channeling the KyleTZ, the inspiration that he had? Is he going to be playing with the skin as well?
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
Oh man, we are gonna find out, because we are in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Who will be the ones to take the W for this series? Will it be the Hive or will it be the Barangay? We will find out sooner or soon enough, because this is gonna be game 3. Now, taking a look at the lineups that we have here, a like.
This could be a very good matchup of Lancelot and Fanny and how they set the pace here, right? But already, like you guys mentioned, man, BREN has a ton of damage on their side already.
Look at this, even the Claude is helping the Fanny just to take his orange buff on the bottom lane. Omega they are fully aware that BREN will do this.
This is a little bit risky though. Ogwin quite low here. He should be fine, but was just trying to solve anything that he could. And even though all that effort, that is going to be the purple being secured here for Smart Omega.
Yeah, and that's already a delay coming in from the Omega jungler. So BREN Esports taking a little bit of the up top damage that they can give in like the first few minutes or the first minute of the matchup. And this might just be the same scenario that we see time and time again, right? It's just Kelra and Super Marco having their own time, like having their own lane, you know, focus on your own lane, mention what you can do. But so far it's Ryzen, man, right on time.
Just waiting for Ryzen to commit. They knew that was going to happen, and the patience from BREN.
Oh my goodness, that call from Few really destroyed the timing of Omega. Chop! Look at the dashes from Kyle Easy.
He's channeling, I mean, he's doing more than that. Just Kyle Teasy already sitting at 2-0 on this Lancelot this early on is very scary, as now he's looking for another kill here.
Ooh, missed.
Forcing a Renzio back, and now Ryzen back there too. Oh, they're not done just yet, and that's gonna be a kill secured for Pandora. And now Chaknu trying to help them out here, but should be just a fine as Turtle now comes up here for the taking. Looks like BREN Esports is gonna go ahead and work out on this one. Kyle Teasy does have the retribution available. This should be a free Turtle for BREN Esports.
Bro signed, you know, planted a signature into the top lane, making sure that they got it under control. It's the micro mechanic coming in from Kyle Teasy, man.
I miss this. I miss the Lancelot dashes that they used to do back in the days, like the diagonal patterns. Kyle Teasy bringing it back. I mean, you don't even need to do it, but Kyle Teasy, he realized he needed more stacks to be able to take out the explainer of Smart Omega, and now Ogren is just, again, complete nuisance against the jungle farm of Smart Omega. And for the Fanny, for Ryzen, this is annoying because you have to be worried about your own farm, and you also have to worry about the presence of the Masha, because you have to put enough pressure so that BREN Esports react. But in this situation, BREN Esports, they're the ones who are pressing the moves against Smart Omega, and they have nothing against it.
Yeah, and at some point now, Ogwen is somewhat trying to fill up the void of the assistance that they want to do from the bot side. They've taken at least 75% of the energy shield, so that will be a huge advantage coming in from Super Marco. So now, Smart Omega, somewhat of a snowball type of composition, given that Ryzen is already there, has been taken out of consideration, given that there's just a lot of damage given up by the side of BREN Esports. And Few, just with the positioning, is just amazing. But Pandora, though,
top side, Pandora quite low, finally getting taken out. Ryzen grabbing a kill for himself here. Meanwhile, off cam, a kill goes over to BREN, and now meanwhile on the top side, Renzio gonna get focused down. Ogwin taking too many hits from the turret, as Ogwin is still alive, able to just survive that one. Ryzen hungry for the kill, but not gonna be able to get it.
What just happened there, man?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It might be that the tower damage increase reset with the last hit to Ogwen, because the recharge wasn't there. It was not enough for Ogwen. He didn't have the energy needed.
Few, can he get the kill? He can't. As he goes in, now he's gonna be in a bad position here. Finesse and gets out in time. Chaknu looking for that way of the dragon, but not gonna commit it there. So Few actually almost able to get a kill here, but Kill VJ in trouble now as Kyle Teasy under the turret grabs a kill.
He is out of control right now, and this is the typical Lancelot that we're used to seeing. Pandora, however, in the top lane.
Pandora. What happened there? He's actually still alive for now, but here comes Kelra looking to grab the kill. Grabs it, but Pandora almost able to survive that one. So this is just action all across the map by both teams.
Yep, but again, you have to be worried about the Lancelot of BREN Esports. who has been able to find his snowball in this game, and this is really scary for Smart Omega. They don't have any tanky heroes, even though the Esmeralda, she's very tanky, not by in a sense that she can tank all the damage of BREN Esports. She's just capable of sustaining. But against a Lancelot that is disarmed, it's really scary for Omega to tank out, to soak up the damage output of BREN's jungler.
Yeah, but in exchange of that, you know, Pandora's been taking a lot of damage coming in from the rest of the members of Smart Omega. Hopefully that trade will be fruitful for them, most especially now that BREN Esports is taking over in terms of the economy, 3,000 to be exact. And not to mention, you know, Super Marco hasn't really been part of those types of team fights, and they've just transitioned into the top lane. But taking a look at the items right now, you're taking a look at Kyle TZ, man. No longer having the high-end Rai. He said, scratch that, I'm gonna go for a different emblem, and he's been taking over ever since.
Ooh, under the turret again goes Kyle TZ, grabbing a kill on the king just like that. Now the rest of the team here, Rising gonna take quite a bit of damage. You can't get the angle that he needs. Pandora now looking for the Abysm Strike. Can he get it? And they go deep under the tier 2 turret. The flex, the finesse from Kyle TZ with the double.
That has got to be part of the top 10 highlights, man. I'm telling you.
Sexy as hell.
What just happened there?
That's another term for finesse.
You know, yeah. That was sexy. That was spicy. That was icy. That was whatever you need to call it, man.
I cannot control myself. You know, I'm a huge Lancelot fan, and whenever I see these types of plays, that's why I followed TikTokers for plays like that. And Kyle TZ just showed up against Omega.
I'm gonna be sure that this is gonna be on TikTok later on, man. Pretty sure what's about to happen
with a slowed down music.
You got it on point.
The guy
man.
has had a kill a minute, right? He's 7-0-1.
It's over at kill a minute.
At 7 minutes here. This is insane for a debut of the Lancelot hero pick, right? I mean, this is an amazing performance from Kyle TZ. Someone stepping into those shoes and just proving himself what a threat he is.
I gotta say, Coach Ducky, the locker room, he might be just going like this. Hey, good pickup. We have a good pickup.
They just
nice purchase.
Yeah.
Nice purchase.
They got what they had, man. They got what they paid for, and now Kyle TZ, you know, managing and giving out a show, most especially to the Hive, to the BREN Esports fans, because they are right here being aggressive. You know, once that Lancelot takes control, it's the others that follow. And now Super Marco with that weapon mastery is going to be a problem later on.
Yeah, there's a ton of damage coming out from BREN Esports. You also have to be worried about Ogwen with his ultimate now that he has the Guardian's helmet. And Kyle TZ to go with the dashes.
Oh, man. Okay, so as we come back from that pause there, it looks like Feud, he used the ultimate, but no one went down there. So as we catch back up here, like you were mentioning at midnight, you're going to have to rely on Chaknu. Like, look for a TikTok play, an amazing setup, but how difficult is that in actual reality, right?
I mean, against a Lancelot.
Against a Lancelot, man, that can just Thorn Rose and Phantom Execution out of there if he wants to. You know, who do you really catch if you're Smart Omega? Who do you look for on BREN Esports? Because Kyle TZ is already tough.
And that's the thing also, how do you even catch at least one of the members if you don't have any crowd control skill? So now it is BREN Esports getting the first Lord of the game, given that they have the snowball necessary, and Kyle TZ just using the punctures to his advantage. You know, the calculations of the skills, and now BREN Esports slowly surrounding the mid lane.
Oh, they're going to go in already. They're not even going to wait for the Lord here as they continue to just focus on this tier 2 turret. I mean, they can just continue to push in. I mean, they're 8.5K gold lead ahead at not even 10 minutes in the game. That's how massive this BREN Esports snowball is. And a lot of it, again, started on Kyle TZ here. The rest of the team just profiting off of that, specifically Super Marco, who's had a vacation of a mode on this Beatrix. He's 0-0-0, but he's quite farmed up too. So now the Lord marching up the top side. Let's see if Smart Omega can defend.
Ryzen is in despair of a purple buff. He entirely needs that energy boost to be able to fight against BREN Esports. And even the Claude is finding it hard to look for opportunities to go win with the Blazing Duet. Because guess what? Again, BREN Esports, they have a ton of damage. A plethora of burst coming out from the Beatrix, even the Derot, the Kadita, even Ogwin on the Masha.
Wow, so they already grabbed 2 base turrets here. Chaknu could be trying to force a moment here. Can't do it though, takes quite a bit of damage himself.
There you go.
Deep into the base goes Kyle TZ, grabbing another kill. The Blazing Duet's gonna be committed, but not enough to grab anything. BREN Esports is just annihilating Smart Omega into the base, and they can't do anything about it. And BREN Esports takes the series in a perfect fashion.
Kyle TZ!
Another descendant of the TZ. You know, another descendant of the TZ. That's it.
Oh my.
Man.
This is a revelation, man, of